Hello, everybody. Alan Barry Labacan here from the Rocks and Stocks News website. Our new regular guest is Ewan Downie from I-80 Gold. Those that have been watching my shows for a long time know that I've been a big fan of Ewan and his deal making and his various different companies. He's a serial entrepreneur in the mining business. And now I think he's building his biggest success with I-80 Gold. Just since I've been talking about them in the middle of August, they were trading at around $2.40. Now they're close to $3.40. They've had they've been up to $3.40 right now, trading at about 3 and change. What has caused that increase is a series of news releases, high grade on a new project at Granite Creek. They did a deal to get mining processing facility in Nevada. And now they've started about to start test mining. That was their last news release. We haven't talked about that one, so I wanted to get Ewan on. Thanks for joining us, Ewan.
Thanks for having me on the show again. Good to see you.
Yeah. Well, you keep making all this noise. I got to keep inviting you, Ewan.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're aggressively trying to grow this business, so there's no moss growing under our feet right now.
In a couple of the last interviews we did, Ewan, one thing you made us aware of was that you thought, I mean, you were very excited about the drilling results. I don't blame you. They were great. But you also mentioned the importance of getting a processing facility. Now you've done the deal to get that processing capacity, and you've also started, or talk about the test mining news.
Well, the processing arrangements were key to the test mining, and I think last show I was on, I mentioned that we've been working on these transactions since February. So it's been a long negotiation, a lot of lawyers involved, and I would have thought that the deal would have been consummated a month or two before it was. So the fact that we'd started test mining and already completed rehab or initial rehab a week after we announced the processing facilities is we kind of jumped the gun on the underground part. We were confident enough that this was all going to get done that we'd already initiated the rehabilitation of the underground. It was mostly first to start the drill program, which is well underway, but also with the arrangement that we're at closing, what we'll have with Nevada Gold Mines is the ability to immediately have material from our projects processed in their facilities. We're looking to advance them as quickly as possible. And Granite Creek was under care and maintenance. We completed that rehab, and now we're test mining, so to speak, on several areas, and also completing a pretty major surface and underground drill program to prepare for what we ultimately hope will be a production decision in the coming months, not in the coming years, because we're permanent and we're underground. So it's an aggressive program, but it's the processing was the real key component. A lot of these higher grade deposits in Nevada are refractory, and without the ability to process refractory material, you kind of have nothing. So it's a great opportunity for our company to be very unique in the state of Nevada with our ability to process ore, and we have the deposits to develop.
You know, that brings up a few subjects to me, Ewan, why I think it makes you guys a special situation for investors. I mean, most of my time I spend on exploration stocks, and when I do venture down into the into the mid-tier-ish kind of miners, I want to have, you know, sort of that exploration potential action in a mining company. And that's kind of why I don't really get into the big miners, because, you know, they're going to kind of follow the pattern of the trading in gold and their bottom line. But you guys have that special sauce. And one of the reasons that I do look at some smaller miners than the majors is because I've seen during my career since 1993 that that middle tier has really been decimated, if you will, in the 2001 to 2011 bull market. And I see that there's an opportunity for companies to move in there and take advantage of projects that maybe aren't big enough for the big ones, and they're too big for the small guys. Do you see that as a path forward for you guys?
Yeah, I think, well, in Nevada, having a facility that's capable of processing refractory material is rare. So there's not many people right now. Only Nevada Gold Mines, owned by Barrick and Newmont, and First Majestic up at Jarrett Canyon have the processing capability. So when you get in these type of deposits, there's only really two places to go. So we are
third.
Yeah, we're envisioning ourselves as being a third, but maybe fitting that niche you were just saying is that there may be some deposits not quite big enough for Nevada Gold Mines, but big enough for a smaller producer that would make a meaningful difference. So I think that's one area we see ourselves fitting is into that that component of the deposit market, and then from there grow a platform where we hope to become one of the biggest producers in the United States.
Well, that's, the reason that I look for that is I've been around long enough to have seen that's the way a lot of major mining companies grew, was with these, not behemoth projects, but they could generate a cash making machine that helped them grow into what they are today using that path forward.
Yeah, and these 10 plus gram underground deposits like Granite Creek that we're developing right now are pretty rare, but they're often smaller. The vein size is smaller. Turquoise Ridge just north of us is 25 million ounces. That's a big one, but they're often the smaller vein type deposits, not the big disseminated beasts. So it takes a bit of specialized mining, and often big companies sometimes don't want to go there into the more narrow veins. So I do think we can carve ourselves a pretty special niche here.
And the pillar to moving into that is you're now one of three companies that has their own processing facility. So that's a strategic advantage to move into that space. And you're doing it in one of the best jurisdictions in the world to be looking or mining gold.
Yeah, definitely. Before we started the show today, we in our conversation talking about different places you work, and I think we're finding everywhere, even the United States, every country in the world has become a little more sensitive to mining, to the environment. So mining's not always the easiest business, and it's even more difficult to be successful in mining if you're dealing with a greenfield site. If you make a new discovery in the Rocky Mountains, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more aversion to us at Granite Creek, where there's a history of mining. There's a mine on our doorstep to the north. There's another mine on our doorstep to the south. It's more acceptable in these areas. So the ability to permit and advance them is much easier than if you make a discovery in the new wilderness, so to speak.
So I know we're getting a little close on time here, Ewan, you're a busy guy, but I wanted to close it off on something that I think is kind of lost on a lot of people, and that's the Lassen Curve. In Pierre Lassen's curve, there's two big spikes for a company. One is when they make an initial discovery, and one is when they are at the footsteps of starting to be a significant mining company. You have sort of an avenue to both. One, you've been an exploration guy for a long time. You've been now a mining guy for a long time, and you've got a project there that's the gap, the bottom in between those two spikes is the development discount window. But this project you just acquired is at the end of that development discount window, and so you're at that cusp of the next growth. Plus, you've also got the ability to grow with the drill rig.
Yeah, I think we've seen West Dome do a good job with that of late. Their shares perform really, not only because they have a growth opportunity, they're already producing, but they did have a lot of success as a producer in a more exploration phase property. So we're looking to have that same. Well, we're hoping we have that same share price success as them, given that we're going to have parallel exploration programs going at Granite Creek and at and soon Ruby Hill at the same time as we're developing Granite Creek. And if all goes well, we should start developing our McCoy Cove property by year end. So we'll actually have 2 development stage projects. So hopefully we can double up on that Lassen Curve.
And you and I have been around the mining business for long enough that there's a lot of talk about promotional. I want to do this, I want to do that. What sets you guys apart is you've had a lot of success with the drill rig. You've had a lot of success with deal making. And now you've got a third pillar in your, third quiver in your arrow there is now you got a processing facility in one of the most important jurisdiction in the world. So I think your aspirations are a little different than many people on the street, mining street.
Yeah, we definitely want to become a prominent player in the industry. It's we've truly been able to piece together what is a remarkable opportunity for not only the people who work in the company, but also our shareholders. And now it's over the next year, we need to demonstrate to the market that we can execute, and that's what we'll do.
Well, and you've been executing for a long time, so I have a lot of confidence in your ability to execute, Ewan.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I know you got to go. You can sign out or do whatever. You can hang in and listen to me close it off, but I'm going to close it off. And so there you go, folks. I mean, there's a lot of companies that do a lot of promotion and they don't really have the background to do that promotion. And Ewan and his team have done it before. They're putting the assets together. And Ewan closed off there by saying he wants to become a prominent player in the Nevada gold or in the gold mining scene and the Nevada play. I think he's going to do that. And companies that do that have valuations that start with the B, billions. Right now, their valuation is quite a bit less than $1 billion. And I think that they're setting the groundwork to have that kind of valuation. Nevada has what I call the Nevada premium, and they are in the best jurisdiction in the world. Now they have a key piece in the puzzle, which is the production capacity. They've got great projects and they got a great deal maker in Ewan Downie running the company. So great team, super valuation opportunity. I think they're going to be successful with their drilling and their money-making machine, the processing plant and the mining. So take a good look at them, do your homework. As always, that's important. This show's for information purposes only. Speak with your financial advisors and stay tuned because I expect to be talking to you and a lot more in the future. Have a great day.
Thanks, Alan.